Welcome to Filipino Times. What makes them tick? Today we have Sir Mike Logico here, and he brought his collection today, and he's going to share with us the experience of collecting these pieces and all of the stories behind the magic. Please, Mike.
Thank you very much. Before anything else, thank you for inviting me here.
Thank you for coming.
I've been following your page for a long time.
Thank you.
And imagine my surprise when my friend Dino told me to get in touch with you.
Yes.
Yeah. So I sort of have with me a sample of the things that I've been collecting for, I would say, since 2005.
It's a great journey.
Okay. By the way, I'm an active colonel in the AFP. I'm currently assigned at the AFP Education Training Doctrines Command, where I teach, and I'm in charge of all bilateral and joint exercises with the AFP. Yeah. So, where do you want me to begin?
Let's begin with the Vostok.
Okay, so my journey actually began way back in 2005. I used to work for a general, and on one of his trips, he gifted all of us Rolexes from China. Yeah, I know. So back then, I had no idea what this was or what I was gonna get, but they just laid out all of these Chinese-made watches, and they said, "Okay, pick anything that you want." So what I picked a green Submariner, which I found out later on was the Hulk.
Yes.
So the rest they picked out other variants of the Submariner. I think some of them got the Yachtmaster, the Chinese-made Yachtmaster. So I was wearing it for a time, and when I attended a course, I was attending a course in Kiev in the Ukraine, and I had my classmates from other countries, and one of my classmates pointed out that what I was wearing was a Hulk. He didn't know that it was not the real Hulk,
Or he was polite enough.
Yeah, I was, I guess, So one day while I was in class, the bezel fell off.
Completely.
Yes, I mean the insert fell off.
Okay.
It's quite embarrassing. So what was I to do? I was in Kiev, so I bought a $20 Vostok.
Okay.
And this is the Vostok that I got on. I got this at St. Andrew's Descent. It's a paratrooper watch. Okay, so there are many variants of the Vostok. Some of them were the Amphibia. They had these Vostoks with the MiG-21s printed on the dial. There were others with the submarine logo. I picked the one with the paratroopers insignia because I'm a paratrooper. I was formerly from the Special Forces Regiment, so I bought a paratrooper watch, the Commandier's Key, which has a military dial with Arabic numerals all across, the red star at the 12 o'clock position, and beneath it is the Russian paratrooper logo.
I love the color of the dial and how it blends.
Yeah, it has a certain play of light with the light. So for a long time, that was my watch, and the only thing I changed was I took a NATO strap and I put it on in place of the leather strap because the leather strap actually broke while I was chopping wood after Typhoon Ondoy. And for a long time, this became my watch. But back then, I told myself, this movie, Gone with the Wind, as God as my witness, I will one day buy the real thing.
Right.
So But it did not the real collecting did not begin until way after 2005.
Okay.
Because in between I was busy with work.
Yeah, it gets in the way.
Yes, it gets in the way. So and I was not yet considered middle age at the time. So when I went back to teaching, that's the time, the the watch bug hit me again.
Okay.
So I started out like many of you guys do. I started out with Seikos.
Yes.
Yeah. But while most people begin with the SKX, I started out with a different entry level. I started out with the Seiko Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was
Nice.
it was strange, it was different, and
Yes.
you look at it, and there's no doubt that this is tough.
Mm.
There's absolutely no question in your mind the way it was built, the way it was made, and you can tell by the looks of it and by the way you handle it.
Where did you get this piece?
I got this in SM Mall of Asia.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's the second generation. It's a second generation
For
Monster.
Yes.
And one thing that is strange about the second generation, there was a time when it was everywhere.
Okay.
It was everywhere.
Anybody was paying attention,
Nobody
right?
was paying attention to it. The
Yeah.
orange monster. I could
Yes.
have gotten the orange monster. I went for the Dracula,
Dracula. Yeah.
and it was everywhere. Then one day, they all disappeared.
Yeah.
They're all gone. Nothing. No second generation monster anywhere. And I have a theory. I'm not sure if this is correct, no? But the one that came after this was the monster. The third generation monster had just the date, and it had the 6R movement.
Okay.
My theory is that they disappeared because Seiko simply recalled them all
Oh,
and used
okay.
the same cases for the third and fourth generation. Because after that, nawala na rin yung third and fourth generation. And you wouldn't find them anywhere also. But now you have the next generation of Seiko Monsters, and now they go back to the 4R movement. But for me, the Seiko is where I began, and it is only after this that I got several SKXs.
Okay.
Right now, no SKX. They pass through my hands. I get them, I sell them, and the latest that I had was the SKX 399.
Okay.
The Philippine.
Yes.
The Philippine diver.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where it all began.
And now we have a vintage Seiko.
Yes. Okay. This is the 6139. I would not call it the Pogue, because if you say Pogue, you would immediately associate that with the yellow dial.
Yes.
So it's a 6139. It's a silver dial, and that's my birth watch.
Great.
So actually, that's my first birth watch.
Okay.
The dial layout is actually very similar to the one that we know to be the Pogue, except
Yes.
that it's silver. It came out with different dial colors. It had the yellow, it had the silver, it had the blue. But,
Where did you get this piece?
I got that from Mac
Okay.
Manalastas. You see. And
Hi, Mac, if you're watching.
a lot of these came from him actually. So yeah, this is my birth watch. The one next to it is my grandfather's watch.
Yes.
So that's the Rolex Oyster Date Precision, and it's not the 6694. It's a 6294. It was produced in 1953, the same year Edmund Hillary climbed Mount Everest.
Yeah.
So it's from that time period. And
And the patina on the dial is just
yes,
wonderful.
yes, it has even patina. I tend to wear it whenever the date wheel turns red, because it's a roulette.
Oh, okay.
It's a
Yeah,
roulette
that's
date
nice.
wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
alternating days. What day is it today? Okay, it's black. That means it's on an odd day. On even days,
It's
you
red.
get the red date,
Nice.
and that makes the watch a little bit more interesting.
Yes. I would agree
Yeah.
tremendously. And the moon watch?
Yes, the moon watch. Well, one thing peculiar about this moon watch, it's the 16. It's a 1861. If I refer to it by its regular reference, I can't remember everything.
It's too long.
I just refer to it as as the 1861.
Yes.
Okay? But I switched out the bracelet because the 1861 which it came on had the bracelet that simply hung over the edges of my wrist. But so I got my friend si Leonard Sitat, and I got from him a bracelet that simply just drops
straight
down from the lungs. But the good thing is that I was able to retain the clasp. So the clasp is now on the replacement bracelet. Yeah.
And the nice thing, it's a complete set.
Yeah, it's a complete set.
Fantastic.
Yeah, complete set. But for me, I prefer to wear it with this type of strap. I don't know what it is with Omega. They came up with the perfect watch with the most imperfect bracelet. And that's why probably people said it's a strap monster. That's absolutely correct. Because you can wear it with about anything, knee toes, rubber straps, leather straps.
Yeah.
Because you really have to look for options if you end up with their current model.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that when they discontinued the 1861 with the 3861, they got the strap right.
Okay.
They got the strap right. Hopefully they don't change that.
Okay. And next, another Seiko.
Yes. This is my only quartz in the collection. So that's a Seiko Tuna. I can't remember the reference number, but it begins with SBBN.
Okay.
So
grab and go.
Yes, that is probably has the most pleasing refraction of light on the crystal.
Yes.
So you will see it's a flat hard lex, but the dome is inside. So the play of light is very visible from the observer. Okay. Normally, you would say, Seiko has these disalignment issues with
chapter
their chapter rings, And for something this expensive, yes, it is there. There's an obvious disalignment in the chapter ring. I once took it to 2 watchmakers, and they said, "Sir, we can't do anything about it because the grooves are already there, and you can't move the groove. So absolutely nothing." Yes, sir. There's nothing you can do about it. You know how expensive it is, and then but you'll just have to live with it.
Yeah. And you have.
Yeah, you have. At the end of the day, it's it will only be noticeable if you know it's there.
Right. But if you're busy and you just need to.
May kasabihan hindi papansinin ng bulag yan. Okay.
And next we have a 36mm Explorer.
Yes, the 114270.
Yes.
Okay, so I got that after I graduated from MNSA.
So it's a milestone watch.
Yes, so it was a choice between that and the Explorer 2.
Okay.
But I wanted something iconic.
Yes.
And I was more into the smaller case watches, something that just flew under the radar.
Right.
See, so
did you buy this here or abroad?
I bought it here.
Back when you could?
Back when I could. And I bought it from, the good thing is I bought it from my former classmate, Don Bosco.
Okay.
So he gave me a good deal.
Okay.
With the Explorer. And I preferred this one over the 39mm Explorers.
Okay.
I have small wrists, and I think that there is something about wearing smaller, but no offense.
None taken.
There's something about wearing smaller watches that actually makes it a little bit more. It's a callback to earlier times.
Yes. I understand perfectly. Yeah, because that was a journey, right? From when you were moving people from the pocket watch into a wristlet, right? And Rolex and Cartier, I think they really ushered people into that, away from the pocket watches.
Yes, precisely. Yeah. And the mere fact that now they're coming back in style.
Yes.
And so now Rolex went back to the 36 millimeters.
Yes, that's
You
right.
know. So that's it.
Yeah. And then this JLC, which I know
Yes.
you picked up from the north.
Yes, that from my research, that's the E395. So it's a non-hacking, windable automatic movement. And of all the watches in this collection, that is by far the prettiest to look at.
It is very.
Yeah. Now, the JLC, according to what they say, it's the watchmaker's watch, because they actually provided the movements to the big watch companies like Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet. I'm not sure about Vacheron.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is quite a looker.
It is.
Yeah, and it's not a quick set date. So what the way
so you have to go
adjust?
around.
No, the way you do it is you turn the minute hand
Okay.
from 9 o'clock to 12.
Right.
Then you bring it back to 9 o'clock.
Oh.
Then you bring it back to 12 to change the date.
That's something
Back
else.
to 9 and back to 12. The same with the Vostok. So these
Okay.
are the only two watches where you change the date going back and forth.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So,
And next you have this
okay.
interesting watch.
Yeah, that's the Presimax chronograph that I bought also from Mac Manalastas.
Okay.
I got it without knowing what I got. One of those few times where the information
It just looks
was
good.
Yeah, the information was sparse, and I only found another one like it being sold on eBay in Argentina.
Okay.
Okay, it's exact same watch, Presimax, and that's when I found out that the movement was a Valjoux 7763, and on the case back it said Porsche, not this one, but the one being sold on eBay in Argentina.
Okay.
So that version had a was Porsche design. So I found out only after I got it that what I got was Porsche design. A blacked out Porsche design.
And next, of course, we have a
That's
date day.
Yeah, that's the Tudor Date Day, which is two-tone. It came with a two-tone bracelet, but when I was wearing it, I felt 10 years older. So I switched it over with a calf leather strap.
Very nice strap.
Yeah, so it sort of dresses it down a little bit. And well, I bought it because I wanted to see how a two-tone would look on me. Now I know that I'd probably, if I wore it 10 years later after that, I'd be an old man.
So guys, if you noticed, Mike is very much into different kinds of straps, no? And I think sometimes he chooses the strap before the watch or the watch before the strap.
Well, if you were into watches, there will come a time. There's a certain limitation of how much your money can get you so far, So eventually, you're gonna gravitate towards buying straps to change up the way it looks and to make the strap match the activity you are for a day. I have a separate selection here for military watches. My belief is any watch that you put on a NATO strap automatically makes it a military strap. Don't you agree? Kasi,
we have to agree.
Yeah, I mean, anything you put on a NATO strap automatically becomes a military watch.
And speaking of which, we have this Omega Seamaster, which I know you're going to tell us a lot about.
Yeah. Okay. So I've been following ID Guy. He makes very nice commentaries on designs of watches.
Yes.
And in one of his videos, he covered the Seamaster 2254.
Okay.
The 2254 is a throwback to the original mil-spec Omega that was made for the Minister of Defense for Great Britain. So the MINDEF came up with a set of specifications for both Rolex and Omega. Well, of course, we all know Rolex came up with the mil sub.
Yes.
And Omega came out with their MINDEF Seamaster.
Okay.
Now, the 2254 had all the visual cues of the original MINDEF Omega. But instead of getting that 2254, I got the 50th anniversary GMT. Same dial layout, with the GMT bezel and the GMT hand and the GMT functionality. So that's my only other GMT that I have.
Okay.
Okay. Instead of retaining it with the bracelet, I took it back to its military origins and put it on a NATO
I
strap.
think it looks good.
Yeah. One balikatan ago, my counterpart from the U.S. Marines, Colonel Brian, saw that I was wearing one of these watches, and he said, I see you're a watch guy. I started getting into watches. And he was thinking about buying a Tag Heuer.
Okay.
He said, no, don't get that. Somebody is selling a 2254. Somebody here in the Philippines is selling a 2254. If I didn't own the 50th anniversary, I would get the 2254. And that is the watch for you.
Yeah.
So I took out my phone. I went to Carousel.
Enabler.
So my American Marine friend, we were shopping watches during Balikatan, and that's the one you want. Okay, so he got the number, and then I suggest you call him up personally, so it doesn't look like I'm the one going in between. I'm the cut off going in between. So funny thing, he contacted the seller, and he said, I got this to my friend Colonel Mike, and then apparently the seller knows me.
Your cover was blown.
The seller knows me, so I honestly don't know the seller. So maybe it goes around. Anyway, that's the story of the Seamaster.
And next we have a Yema.
Okay, the Yema is my only French watch. I used to own the Baltic Aqua Scaff. Normally I don't buy limited editions. I don't get bronze watches. So I told myself, I'll give this a shot. And the price was good. So this is the only limited edition I have in my collection, and the only partially bronze watch that I have. This looks stunning, but among all of the watches in my collection, this is probably the most imperfect of them all.
Yeah, I think you're gonna explain that.
You see this? Before I fixed it, this is how it looked like.
Yeah,
it had this big overhang with the bracelet. And I absolutely hate that in a watch. So what I did was I took out the bracelet. I brought out my multi-tool Gerber file, and I started filing away at the end link until the bracelet just dropped.
Yeah,
just dropped. Kasi this overhang will make the watch larger than what it really is. So I will not be deterred from my enjoyment by a design
flaw.
If you're listening, you better fix this. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
I had to physically file it away before I drop it, before it drops like that. So I took this to Palawan, and I took this near the ocean, facing
to make sure.
Yeah, to make sure that the bronze part starts to oxidize. Now mission accomplished. It's a fully oxidized bronze watch.
And this one is the most.
So now brings me back to the end of the journey, because I said way back in 2005, as God is my witness, I'll get the real thing.
Yeah.
So I was 49 years old at the time. I told myself I'll get it. I'll get the Submariner by the time I turn 50. Then I said, wait a minute. Why do I have to wait until I'm 50? I'm closer to the finish line than I am at the starting line. If you have these many years left ahead of you, what's the point in getting it so late in that stage? What's the point? You cannot enjoy it anymore.
Yeah.
I'll get it before I turn 50. So that's what I did. I got a good deal.
Was it here or?
Yes, it was here. The owner was a doctor.
Okay.
See, so That's the first thing you do. You check out the seller first.
Yes, by the seller.
Yeah, by the seller. Unfortunately, because of its age, it's a 16800 from 1986. So it's 36 years old as of today.
Yeah.
I don't expect it to have box and papers.
Mhm.
So I got it. I had it checked out. And I got a good deal.
Actually, it looks great with the patina, and
Yes,
it's even.
actually. The patina is, if you look at the dial, that's
Yeah.
some people call it the starburst dial. Some people call it the sponge dial.
Okay.
So the 16800s, back in between 1983 to 1984, they made a transition between the matte dial
Yes.
to the gloss dial.
Yes.
Okay, and the gloss dial had applied indices with the white gold surrounds. Now, the thing about the first batch of these gloss dials was they didn't quite get the paint right.
Okay.
So some of them cracked, and that's why you have the
spider
dials. Right?
Yeah.
Some of them had a different effect. They started forming tiny bubbles.
Yeah. Here.
Tiny bubbles on the surface.
Yes.
But for some reason, those tiny bubbles did not blur the letters, the printed letters. Which today it puzzles me how that even happened.
Mhm.
And according to one watchmaker I know, sabi niya, that's the perfect dial. The way the bubbles formed on an even surface. Okay. Of course, you don't expect it to still have the loom, but you don't really buy it for that.
Well, I wanted to mention like what you said with this, getting the natural patina here and the patina here. I owned a brass watch a while back, and when I posted it in one of the bigger forums, the guy said, "Wow, how did you do that?" And I just said to him, "Oh, I'm from the Philippines."
Now, I think, that's a good point, no?
Yeah.
There's a reason why it's called the tropic dial.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because that type of patina could only form in tropic regions.
Right.
I'm not sure if what I said was actually
I
correct,
agree with you.
If that were the case, then all Rolexes supposed to be from that produced during that period should form that type of patina. But for some strange reason, they don't quite form it the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Some form patinas very differently than others.
Yes.
I believe that it probably depends on what you do, what you do on a daily basis, where you take the watch. And the beauty of that is that any watch from that period is unique.
Correct.
Yeah, it forms a patina very differently. Some are spiders, some just turn from gloss to matte.
Yes.
Straight.
Yes.
No more of those distortions on the dial.
Correct. Well, and another thing, before we end this episode is, Mike, tell us about the Olongapo Band.
Yeah.
And the engraving on the back.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to say his name, otherwise he's not gonna hear the end of it. Jaffe Jurado. He makes those really wonderful Olongapo bands. It's only made here. So he asked me what are the things that I want on the band.
Yeah.
Okay. First, my organization, I belong to the AFP. So I wanted the AFP coat of arms on the 12 o'clock position.
Yes.
And on the bottom, because I am a paratrooper, I've jumped out of a perfectly good airplane.
Okay.
Numerous times.
Okay.
Until my knees could no longer handle it. So on the bottom, I have the Philippine Paratroopers wings.
Yes.
When I graduated from airborne school, they go through a certain ceremony when they have the airborne wings pinned on your chest without the rubber stoppers.
Okay.
And the tradition was they pound it into your chest.
Okay.
Until the two prongs
are embedded
right on your chest.
Okay.
So they call it the bloody wings ceremony.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I asked the colonel who was about to pound it to me, "Sir, instead of using that, can you please pin this on my chest?" I took out the wings of my dad
Oh,
So my dad was also a paratrooper.
wow.
So I said, "Where did this come from? Because this
Yeah.
looks very different." Yes,
Yeah.
sir. That was my. Those are my
Awesome.
father. Those are my
Awesome.
father's wings.
Awesome story.
Yeah, and it was made of sterling silver. So I did bring it with me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he pinned it on me, and it went straight to the heart.
So you're not a vampire.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm still alive. Yeah, so that's my so
Oh wait, no,
I-
that's werewolf pala.
oh yeah, silver.
Yeah.
Yeah, and behind it, they asked me. So Jaffe asked me what did I want behind
Yes.
my watch. So I printed out. I wanted not my name,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted it to cite the Barefoot Colonel.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's how many people know me.
Yeah.
The Barefoot Colonel.
Yes. Actually, when you Google his name, that's what comes up.
Yeah. So in case anybody's asking, it's because I run barefoot.
All right, guys. So stay tuned for part 2 of Mike Logico's watch collection. See you soon.